Wednesday, August 5th. This is Open Athletes. I'm former MLB draft pick Jeremy Wolf. Here to talk about sports, business, tech, politics, and the intersection thereof. What are we going to talk about today? What aren't we going to talk about today? On Wednesdays, we like to talk a little bit about policy and labor. On Wednesdays, we like to talk a little bit about how the money is spilling over into other things inside and outside of sports. Well, we consider what we have talked about this week and last week. Some of the themes that we touched on might sneak its way back in. Things that happen in sports do not happen once. They carry over and carry over and carry over. And that is what we are going to see. So for today, there's so much that is happening in the world of sports that I cannot. I'm so excited to get on today. I think I said that yesterday too. So excited. I'm so excited to come on. Talk today about all of the things that are happening in sports. If we were to do that, it would be a 4-hour show, and I do not want to subject you to that. But today, our quick hits are going to get into a bit of the nuances of the things that are happening in sports, some of the things that we touched on. We'll jump back into some of the topics we talked about earlier this week as we get into our topics today as well. There's a lot that I'm excited that we're going to touch on today. Writing the script today was like, okay, we got to put this in. Okay, let's put this here. Let's move this here. Let's do all this. It's going to be great. Welcome to Open Athletes, the daily show for athletes who are building something. I'm Jeremy Wolf. On today's show, a Tucson running back, Bijan Robinson, just became the highest paid running back in the history of football. Good. And I want to talk about who actually got rich off that deal. Public universities figured out a magic trick to make their sponsorship contracts disappear from public records. They're at it again, folks. The Savannah Bananas quietly cost ticket resellers almost $14 million without charging you a dime. Good. In my travels, I have met Jesse, the Savannah Bananas owner. I actually played in that league that they purchased their team from. I was in the Coastal Plains League. I played for the Petersburg Generals. Petersburg Generals, I believe, were purchased by Jesse and moved to Savannah to be in the CPL. And then they were like, no, put them on stilts. Make the balls glow in the dark. Make them dance. So, I guess if there's a record book, I might be in the record book for the Savannah Bananas if we're going that far back. Bananas are quietly costing ticket retailers $14 million without charging you a dime. Yes. I hope that's the case. As far as the value for family entertainment goes, the Savannah Bananas have to be the best deal in sports. So I'm excited to touch on that. The WNBA is booming, as we have discussed over the last week. So your season tickets are going to go up 70%. It's booming. Business is good. Got to be more expensive for you. Go Mercury. A room full of NBA millionaires all agree the number on the contract is a lie. NBC just paid up to keep a horse race. And an AI company just wired itself into every stadium and every league. Then in today's take, it's Wednesday, policy and labor, and one question, sports, who actually controls the money? But first, quick hits. DraftKings gets dragged into the prediction market pylon. DraftKings Predictions has been sued 3 separate times in the last week as the legal war over sports event contracts widens. Everybody wants to be a casino until the lawyers show up. I would say everybody wants to be a casino. Everybody wants to be a casino. I still hold firm. Gambling is bad for sports. There's too much of it. Everything's got to be gambling. Everything's got to be this. Everything's got to have the spread. I can't watch the game without thinking about the spread. I'm going to get off my lawn when it comes to gambling in sports. Unfortunately, it was great for my whole life until 5 years ago. And then I was like, well, everything's going to have gambling in it now. Aaron Donald builds the media career before the comeback. The former Defensive Player of the Year signed a management team and is setting up a docuseries while still weighing a Rams return at 35. He's hedging his own retirement. The camera pays after the pads stop. Yeah, sure. Do it. Yes, tell your stories. Do the things. Be a media company. When I see the best athletes retire, go into media. People want to hear your story. People want to hear the stories you want to tell. Obviously, LeBron. Everybody watches all of the things that LeBron produces. I watch The Wall. I love The Wall. What can Aaron Donald do to tell the story of the things that he wants to do? Start a media company. Do the things. Yes. More athletes are doing that now than buying car dealerships that used to be the thing. What is Aaron Donald gonna do? And for somebody so private, I mean, he's private and quiet, and that's just who he is. But to start a media career after, being just a private guy in the NFL for 10, 12 years, I'll sign up for that. Sure. Aaron, the best, one of the best, if not the best defensive players in the last 20, 25 years, maybe ever. What does he want to talk about? I will absolutely pay attention. Paramount's antitrust trial gets pushed, and David Ellison keeps making his case. In media, the deal isn't done till the judge, the jury, the executioner, calendar, everything agrees. Paramount trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery after swooping up everything else. After the Ellisons are swooping up everything else. What's that going to look like, and how far back are they going to be in the next 6 months as this thing goes through arbitration? Or 8 to 12 months is it if it goes into an antitrust trial? How far behind are they going to be? What work can they get done? We're talking about legacy behemoths merging in the old famous legacy behemoth model. Everybody remembers Time Warner merging with Warner to build this giant AOL bullshit thing. Verizon had this giant merger. Fine. Let these giant things merge. Is it worse for us? Yes. Are things going to be more expensive? Yes. Are things going to be worse for us, the viewer? Yes. Don't make a merge. Do we have a system that's going to limit the ability for these giant behemoths to merge, creating less competition, creating an experience that's worse for us as consumers? What are we going to, are we going to make a decision on this or not? And in the meantime, while they are waiting on making a decision, what is going to change? And how much is YouTube TV going to take over all of the things that this Paramount deal is waiting on? Fine. We shall see. MLS's new commissioner, Larry Berg, smells the money. Larry Berg says the league is uncapped upside when its Apple deal comes up in 2029. We talked about this yesterday, and admits current media revenue needs correcting. What does that mean in private equity, commissioner, league, billionaire speak? We got so much more money to make. We left money on the table. I'm the guy who can fix it. I'm the guy who noticed. That's why the owners voted him in. Number one, he's an owner. He gets it. He's the PE guy. He can bring money in. PE knows how to cut costs and make money. The other guy was the TV guy. TV guy's good. If this was 10 years ago, if this was 8 years ago, they would have gotten the TV guy because they're like, oh, we got to get on more screens. No. They're like, Larry Berg, we got uncapped revenue. How do we maximize the total amount of dollar we're bringing in the MLS? They're the 5th most popular league in the country right now. They're on Apple TV, which is sexy. The World Cup is certainly helping the growth of soccer in the United States. And the NHL better watch out. What's next for the NHL? Gary Bettman's been there forever. Vegas was a great decision for them. I have no idea where to watch hockey. No idea. It's not on Apple TV. I don't subscribe to ESPN Plus. If somebody wants to give it to me, I'll trade you for Peacock with no commercials. Okay, which is my mom's. Goes to show how cheap I am. I don't pay for any of my subscriptions. Okay. If I'm the MLS, I'm on Apple TV. I got Messi. Inter Miami is looking good. I got David Beckham. I got stars going to Chicago and Orlando. I have Son at LAFC. The calendar is a little wonky. It's not the same European calendar that we're used to seeing in football. Okay, fine. Maybe they'll change that. I think they are thinking about changing it. Fine. There's no pyramid, so I gotta watch all the bad teams every single year. Fine. Well, we're talking about uncapped upside for the MLS. What are the other streams of revenue you can bring in? Certainly sponsorships, the TV deal. But is that money going to translate into better product on the field? Because as we have discussed, the MLS is lacking in the quality of football that it's producing. If you're just tuning in, I'm Jeremy Wolf, former professional athlete. And yes, I said the quiet part out loud. MLS is slower. MLS is more methodical. I would say the athletes are less marketable, obviously, except for Messi. And the game's slower. And we know that MLS is not like the top league in the world. Top league in the world is the Premier League, just in the quality of football. La Liga, Serie A. The championship in England is pretty good, okay? Serie B is pretty good. The Spanish second division, it's really good. The Scottish League is really good. The Swedish League is really good. The Belgian League. The Portuguese League. The Mexican League is good. The Brazilian League is good. We're talking about quality on the field. Is the MLS a top 10 league in terms of talent? Yes. Are they a top 5 league in terms of talent on the field, the quality of the football I'm watching over 90 minutes? Dramatic pause. I don't know, man. MLS future friend of the show? I don't know. They're going to be mad that I'm calling it out. But I'll watch. I'll keep watching. If there's no hydration breaks, MLS, I still love you. But we gotta make it quicker. I don't know, make the field smaller. I don't know. What do you want from me? Man United reworks a betting deal around the ban. United's reported $20 million deal with Betway. Partnership is structured to survive the front of shirt gambling ban. You can ban the logo, but not the lawyers who move it 2 inches to the left. We have a firm stance on gambling on this show. Now, does that mean we hate Manchester United? No, of course not. We love Manchester United. Manchester United has so much fun to talk about. So much fun to talk to your friends about. If you have a Manchester United friend, like I do, wow, the entertainment value of that alone is amazing. Teams are always going to find a way to get around a ban, especially when there's this much money involved, especially when they're rebuilding the team, especially when all of these things are happening. Is moving the logo to sidestep this ban. Good thing or bad thing? They were going to do it anyway. It's us. It's the fans. It's the fans who... And what are the athletes going to do about their jersey sponsorship? They can't. I mean, the athletes have no say in what logo they're wearing on the front of their jersey. If you're a fan and you bet, be careful. If you're a player and you bet, don't do that. We'll see what Manchester United does. I mean, that's a $20 million a year deal with Betway. Let's see how other teams follow suit. Where does Dianne Rossini land? One of the NFL's biggest insiders has gone quiet. Had a little scandal with Mike Vrabel. The media world is watching her next platform. The insider is the product, not the network. The distribution will follow her. She's fantastically amazing, excellent at what she does. She getting a little bit of hot water? Yeah. Was the playlist a little cringy? Yeah, it was fine. It was what you would expect. Will I absolutely pay attention to what she's going to do next? Without question. Without question. She's so good at what she does. Those insider jobs are so hard. Could you imagine? Every single day you're on your phone trying to get a little bit more. Get a little bit more. Everybody's got the same sources because there's only so much. And it's you versus Adam Schefter to get a thing out first. And you know he's going crazy. That is the hardest job in all of sports. Not being a quarterback, not hitting a baseball, but being an NFL insider. The show's presented by Marvelous. Marvelous, helping independent health insurance agencies take action. Marvelous. Go to get-marvelous.com. Bijan Robinson resets the running back market. Good. He's worth more. By the way, he's worth more than this. I didn't put the numbers, his stats in this, but over the last 3 years, if he's not leading the league in touchdowns, yards, yards after contact, I don't know what Saquon got. That's a good comparison. He's just as valuable to the Falcons as Saquon is to the Eagles. Per the Washington Post, a 3-year extension is worth up to $75 million. Base value is $66.75 million, $22.25 million per year. Position best, topping Saquon's 20.6. $51 million guaranteed, most ever for a non-rookie running back deal. $37 million at signing. Kicks in after his 2027 fifth-year option. Locks him into Atlanta through 2030. Running backs, and good for Bijan. I lived in Tucson for a bit. Bijan's from Tucson. From everything I heard, just a good dude who played really well at Texas, who's playing really well with the Falcons. Good for him. Amazing. Running backs are the most disrespected position in football. They are not paid like running backs. Bijan broke his ceiling. And he held out, created leverage, and he used it correctly. But watch the language used by the teams, and watch the language used by the league here. Up to $75 million. Base $67.75 million. $51 million guaranteed. Those three numbers, one deal. The smallest one is the realest one, obviously, guaranteed. Leverage your timing. He didn't ask nicely in year 4. He waited until his absence was a story and then closed the deal. You, athlete, can learn from this. You have a version of that window. Maybe me, Division III baseball player, 31st round draft pick, did not have a version of that window. What was I going to hold out? 31st round pick, offered $5,000 at a signing bonus. Going, well, maybe I'm going to hold out for more money. I did not have leverage. There are opportunities in your life. There might be one window for most guys. He's going to have a second one. How can you cash in and cash out when your leverage is the loudest? Create your own hold-out moment. Is there a time you could have asked for more and didn't? For us non-athletes, when we're asking for a raise, hey, I've done this much for the business. Can I have a raise? Business is like, no, here's 3%. But inflation's 5%. Can I get a 5% raise? No. What more can you do to show your worth to the organization? Bijan did. Bijan was like, I'm the best running back in football right now. Pay me. And they did. He could have got more. Zay Flowers. He's great. He's the 4th highest paid wide receiver in the league. He signed a 4-year, $140-something million deal. He's making $33 million next year. Bijan's making $22.25 million next year. Wide receivers are going to get paid more. Yes. Than running backs. That's the way things are right now. There are other factors to it. Why running backs' careers are shorter? Sure. But Bijan is as valuable to his team as Zay Flowers is, if not more, and is making $12 million a year less. I gotta get a boo here. I'll find a boo for you, because that's a boo moment. What are we doing? So good for Bijan, bad for the NFL. The best players in football are not equitably paid to the value. Bad for the union. Why are running backs and wide receivers so disparate in how much they're making? Future friend of the show, the NFL? I don't know, man. Future friend of the show, the MLB, the NFL Players Association? I hope so. Roger Goodell, if you're watching, come on the show. Colleges are hiding their jersey patch deals. Schools make sponsored deals vanish from public records. What? Policy story of the day, and it made me mad. Public universities, schools that legally owe you their records are structuring new jersey patch deals so the contracts technically don't belong to the school at all. Ask them. Well, we don't have that. We reported. We did not report. Others were reporting. I shared with you. Ohio State University is selling their jersey patch to JP Morgan Chase, rumored to be between $15 and $18 million. Some say up to 20. But that's between Chase and its partner Learfield. Not to Ohio State. Kansas did the same with Ripple. Also via Learfield. Boise State's law professor Sam Ehrlich, schools are diverting deals through their MMR in a way that may violate the spirit, if not the letter, of open records laws. Whoa! Learfield declined to comment. Him. Not me. I'm bringing you the news. I wish I could report you the news. Maybe we'll have some guests on that will help report you the news. You heard it here first, folks. The highest paid public employee in every single state is the college football coach. Who's the highest paid player in North Carolina? Who's the highest paid employee, public employee in North Carolina? Bill Belichick. Let that sink in for a bit. We talk about policy and politics. We talk about the business of sports. We just talked about contracts. Public universities that gladly accept our money to operate their universities, some of which, the biggest of which, are making hundreds of millions of dollars of deals every single year on sponsorships. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars each year on football. They're not making money on baseball or softball. Not maybe softball. I mean, actually, Oklahoma softball, probably. U of A softball, probably. But you're telling me they can just pass it through Learfield? We don't have to disclose it? Okay. What am I going to say? Well, universities, you shouldn't do that. They're going to do that. They're going to do everything they can to get around the rules. Their trick, route the sponsorship through a private middleman so the contract lives between sponsors and that middleman. The school is not a party. No party, no record, no disclosure. Why care? Why should you care? This is the same disappearing act used on you, structured through a partner It's a red flag to the visibility that you should be granted access. If you can't see the whole deal, you're not a party to it. You're the product in it. Rumored to be 18 to 20 million. Again, the thing that I shared the other day was, well, all these articles are saying 15 to 18, up to 20. When was the last time you signed something without fully understanding the thing that you were signing? By the way, Kansas being sponsored by a crypto company? Give me a break. But these schools, they want to try to make the money, and they're going to try to hide it. Ohio State is going to try to hide the money. This deal could be $30 million. And I said the other day, it was undervalued at 15 to 18. It could be saying, hey, give them crumbs, 15 to 18, because that's what the market is showing. But if Chase was like, we're giving you $50 million a year for the visibility to be on Ohio State, to be partnered with Ohio State, to be partnered with the athletes, to be partnered with that organization, the most prominent university, one of the most prominent athletic universities and academic universities in the country. Yeah, $15 million is undervalued. This episode presented by Mind Ready. Mind Ready. What's a performance coaching and education for athletes, teams, coaches, workspaces, your office. There is somebody on your team or a coach on your team or a manager in your organization where you're like, man, I wish they knew how to handle the team's mental health. I wish we had something that taught us a little bit more about mental health. Mind Ready. I cannot think of another company that does the things that Mind Ready does. So if you're out there and you're like, man, we could totally use like a course. We could totally use a one-on-one coaching. We could totally use all this. Mind Ready. MindReady.co. We'll see you there. The Savannah Bananas just cost resellers $13.69 million. The Bananas build their own resale market. Resellers are out $13 million. Instructive palate cleanser. Halfway through the show. Almost. The Bananas took money from scalpers and gave their savings back to fans on purpose, and it cost them to do it. Per Huddle Up and Joe Pomp. Tickets are $35 to $60, no fees, taxes are paid, prices you see is the price you pay. Demand pushed them to a lottery and capped at 5 tickets to starve resellers. Resale tickets still hit $500+ and many were fake. Fans lost money and got denied at the gate. So the Bananas spent a year and hundreds of thousands of dollars building a verified secondary marketplace and took no cut, captured no revenue. Joe Pump says around $13 million. I've met Jesse when I was running More Than Baseball. We had the opportunity to meet Jesse. Maybe there was something there as he was building the Savannah Bananas. This was 2020. It was mid-COVID, early 2021. He's thinking about, how do I have a season for 2021? And we asked him, can More Than Baseball sponsor something? Can we give cleats to people in Savannah? Can we help your players in whatever way it might be? Can More Than Baseball be part of this crazy new baseball thing, the Baseball Harlem Globetrotters? And we said to Jesse, well, we'll sponsor. And he goes, well, I don't want sponsors. I would rather run this with nothing on the walls. I would rather not make a dime and do it the exact way that I want to. And he was really nice about it. And then have a sponsor. And for him, at the time, and I think still, he had a vision of this can be a real media asset. Like, he had a vision. I think the ESPN deal was just starting with them. The show was just starting with them. TikTok had just started to blow up. And he was doing something different. And he knew, well, I have the ability to really change how baseball is presented as an entertainment asset. And I am incredibly impressed with what the Savannah Bananas are doing and have done. It's unique, it's different, it's incredibly valuable for baseball. For baseball purists to say, I'm a real guy. I realized I'm a real get off my lawn kind of guy. People are like, well, it's not real baseball. It's not supposed to be real baseball. Are you watching the Harlem Globetrotters going, man, Man, that's not real basketball. It's not supposed to be real basketball, okay? They have guys on stilts. They got guys throwing balls that are on fire. They got guys doing crazy stuff. Guys that are good enough to play at least independent baseball are playing good baseball. And they can do backflips and do that thing, make things entertaining and fun and whatever. And they're making kids come to a ballpark, making kids play baseball. That's really valuable for those curmudgeons that are like, well, it's not real baseball and it's really it's not for you. It's not for you. Now, do I understand everything that they do? No idea. But to engage fans in that way, to be that unique, that American in the way that they're doing things, I love it. I think they're amazing. So good on Jesse. Good on the Savannah Bananas. Why do this? Why build a product you make $0 on? Because their real asset is trust. Yes, they've always done this. They've always wanted to do this. The feeling that this org won't gouge you. They will not price gouge you. Tickets could be $120. I think they might be. I don't know for sure. I've never been to a game. I watched some of when I was scrolling through. Fine. Behind the dugout, I don't know if it's still going to be 30 to 60. But every scalped fake ticket attacks their connection to fans. They spent real money to protect the relationship that actually prints their money and keeps their trust. Everyone obsesses over the transaction number. The Bananas played the lifetime trust game. For an athlete builder, don't extract maximum dollars on day one or ever. Your scarce asset is that they trust you more than a brand. Protect it. That trust is the distribution. A brand or creator who burned your trust for a quick cash grab. It's how you lose trust in the marketplace. The marketplace of products, ideas. If the Savannah Bananas were in this for the money, and trust me, the money's not a bad thing for them. They get to do more of what they want to do. They're an incredibly valuable media asset. They're good for the city of Savannah, Georgia. They're good for baseball. They're good for youth baseball. And for them to say, well, we don't need to price gouge you. We don't need to deal with scalpers. For them to take advantage of that and turn it into an opportunity to build trust in the marketplace. Not only is Jesse a genius for doing this thing, doing it at a very high level, making the Savannah Bananas incredibly lucrative, incredibly valuable media asset in sports and in business, for them to say, well, we're going to spend a lot of money to make sure that people trust us when they come to games. You could not have a better PR move than that. So good on them. Good on Jesse. I'll reach out. If you know Jesse, have him on the show. I would love to talk to him about the things that he's doing, the things that he's thinking about. What more is Jesse going to do? What more can they do? More of the same? They're selling out MLB stadiums. I don't think guys are using it to get to the next level or play indie ball, but they might. It's an opportunity to continue to play baseball. Banana ball. I don't know if they're going to go global. They could. Play a team in Japan. Play a team in China. Play a team in Taiwan. I'm excited to see what the Savannah Bananas do in the future. Good. Bravo. On you, Savannah Bananas. Friend of the show. Amazing. The WNBA sends the bill. Season tickets up as much as 70%. WNBA is booming. Your season tickets are going to jump. The flip side of this, women's sports is exploding. Yes. I love it. I love women's sports. I love sports. Women's sports, men's sports, whatever. WNBA's got stars. I will tune in. I will watch Caitlin Clark. Yes. Absolutely. Per Front Office Sports, some WNBA season ticket holders see renewals jump as much as 70%. Good for the WNBA. Good for the players. Good for advertising for those teams and players. One Mystics One Mystic season ticket holders per game price went from $51 to $76. Total bill for the year up 50%, $6,900 to $10,000. Part of the inventory, 25 home games next year, up from 22. Mystics rep pointed to the new CBA, higher prices to help offset rising players' salaries. Everything will work in tandem, and how will the leagues who decide ticket prices, how will the teams who decide ticket prices make that money back? Are they going to make it on advertising? Yes. There's a politics and sports and business and technology show. Do tariffs make cost of goods sold in the United States more expensive? Yes. Season ticket holders are being taxed because player salaries are higher. Don't punish. We just learned about the Savannah Bananas. We will talk about the Savannah Bananas again because they're doing great things in sports. Don't punish the fans. When was the last time you were at a sporting event where you're like, wow, that gave us a tremendous amount of value? Your hot dog was $12. Your beer was $15. Your ticket was $47 to sit in the upper deck. You parked for $20. Luxury. We talked about it with Ryan Field in Northwestern's new football stadium. Sports is luxury. An event is luxury now. Unless your team sucks, you're not going to a game for $20. When am I going to see a good deal in sports again? The WNBA is going up 22 to 50% in season ticket prices. Or single game ticket prices. Is $51 a ticket a good deal? Depends on where you sit. Yes. It's a good deal. You got a family of four that's $200 plus dinner, plus parking, plus you got to get there. You got to drive 40 minutes to get there. We've argued all week. WNBA players are still underpaid and the CBA needed real money. Yes, true. But how is the bill traveling? Who's getting taxed? Advertisers? Bill might be more for them. Fans? Teams think, wow, we can charge more because Caitlin Clark exists and commands that much attention and that much money. The pricing power that the WNBA teams have, yes, some are worth $1 billion. Amazing for sports. WNBA does not get the respect that it deserves as a league. I'm a proponent of the WNBA. Games are entertaining. Games are fun to go to. Go Mercury. You have stars. Don't punish me. But teams are going to do whatever they want because they're trying to pay the players as little as possible and make as much money as possible. That's the give and take in sports. And where are there opportunities to make money? Concessions, merchandise, advertising, ticket sales, parking if they own the stadium. Don't punish me for being a fan. But I hope WNBA players get paid more because they deserve it, because it's good value. Like, it's a good entertainment value for the money right now. It's twice as expensive to go to an NBA game. At least the WNBA games, number one, there shouldn't be 25 home games. There should be more. Why are there not more games? Why are there 82 NBA games? 50-something WNBA games? I want more games. Is more games good for sports? Yes. Is it good for competitions? Yes. Why does the MLB have 162 games? They used to have 140. Babe Ruth played there in 130 to 40. Okay. Now they got 162. Is 162 games a lot? It's a lot to play in. Is it a lot? A lot? Yeah, man. There are 162. There are 82 home games per each team. You make the playoffs, you get more home games. MLB teams have 82 home games a year, 81 home games a year. NBA teams, 41 home games a year. WNBA teams, 25 home games a year. If your money is coming from ticket sales, have more games. Is more games bad for sports? No. Yes. Kawhi's not playing every home game. I don't know what the deal with Kawhi is this year. We have not talked about Kawhi. Maybe we'll do a deep dive into the things happening with Kawhi. And aspiration in the Clippers. Shout out my man, Pablo Torre. A colleague now, if you will. Come on the show. But let's think for a second. Fans want more. Fans want the cost to be less. If you're the WNBA, think about having more games. More games means more money. More games means potentially for us fans lower ticket prices. But they'll probably have more games and raise the ticket prices. They raised the games, three more home games this year. They raised the ticket prices by 30%. People aren't going to show up if it's too expensive. People not showing up is bad for business and it's bad for the WNBA. There's give and take here. What are us fans going to do? I don't know. Ooh, new sponsor. This show presented by Delight. Delight helps you keep customers. You work so hard to get your customers. Delight can help you keep your customers. One subscription, anything you want. Pause or cancel anytime. We help you keep your customer. We help you make sure that you're providing the right value to your customers. We are experts in making you understand the value that you're providing to your customers. Go to delight, delight.jeremywolf.co. Whoa, that's me. All of these things are things that I've built or helped started. I love doing this show. I will do this show as long as there's internet access, as long as I have my computer and my camera. Because I'm so excited every single day to get on this mic and talk about sports with you. But does this show be paying the bills right now? No, man. I got a job. I do love my day job. But there's so many things that I want to do in sports outside of sports. Delight being one of them. Let's talk about how to make the experience that your customers have much better. Audit, auudit.jeremywolf.co in the show's description. How do we make the experience that your customers are having, the type of media that you're presenting, the type of brand that you're creating, better? Erdos, how are you implementing AI, and are you doing it properly? Are you doing it efficiently? Are you doing it to where you're not replacing your employees, but actually making them better at their job? There's too much AI is going to replace employees. No, it's not. How can you, with the current team of people that you have, use AI to make them better at their job, more efficient, more impactful, and more effective? That is the thing that you as the company need to figure out. Not on our agenda today, but that's just how I feel about these things. I'm tired of hearing, and in some cases they are. I don't work at Amazon. They'd be laying off a lot of people because they think, well, AI can just do it, right? No. Were some of the things that people were doing redundant? I think we could see that in a lot of places, that some things people are doing could be redundant, but that's not their fault. Maybe that's the fact that some things are just ineffective and inefficient in how they're presented to an individual, but that individual is not going to be replaced by AI. They need to be superpowered by AI. AI can be a helpful tool if used correctly and if trained correctly. Or don't use it. I write my scripts. I do the research. AI did help me make this, though. I couldn't make this on Canva. So we'll talk more about AI, the impacts of AI on sport. We'll talk a little bit today, too, about how it's going to be used in stadiums. Athletes are not going to be replaced with AI. Is the front office going to be replaced with AI? No, the humans still need to evaluate. Topic 5. It's not 150 million. Athletes talking about what the deal is really worth. A group of NBA players just said the quiet part out loud. Every deal today has two numbers, the headline and the truth. We talked about Bijan. Bijan's 75 million is really 51 million. Chase's jersey patch deal is rumored to be 15 to 18 to 20 million. The WNBA raises ticket prices because of the CBA. Per Front Office Sports, Chris Bosh, backing JJ Redick and others, when you hear 3-year, $150 million deal, it's not $150 million. CJ McCollum said a $2 million salary can net under $1 million after taxes, agent fees, etc., etc. Advisors agree. Short careers, taxes, agent fees, bad advice, overspending, shrink the headline. It's not millionaires whining. Of course not. Athletes should be able to find opportunities to maximize the total amount that they're worth. Bijan's worth $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. He should be paid more. Bijan is worth more than that to the Falcons. People are going to people are going to go to the stadium anyway, for the most part. But the value of the Falcons is increased because Bijan is there. Bijan's worth open market, no salary cap. What's Bijan worth? 100 million. Over 100 million. As much as Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is great. Bijan is just as good. What matters is guaranteed. What matters is the guaranteed after tax, after fees, after career that ends at 30. Or for me, 24. That was my thesis at More Than Baseball. The gap between the story and the money. Minor leaguers lived on $3,000 a year while the industry sold the opportunity to make it to the major leagues. And I was an apprentice, and I didn't have a collective bargaining action on the original contract. And I wasn't subject to Fair Labor Standards laws or the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, which said that minor league baseball players are not subject to minimum wage and overtime. I was an intern. Minor leaguers went from $3,000 to $40,000 by not complaining, but by getting into the dirt, getting into rooms where the real numbers were being discussed. Is $40,000 a year for a professional athlete the best that they can do? No. Minor league NBA players will say making over $100,000 a year. Minor league NHL, over $100,000 a year. Are there more minor leaguers in baseball? Yes. But is there worth to each of those teams $40,000? No, it's more. MLB teams are seriously taking advantage of these players. Players are worth more money per year, per the teams. They're valuable assets. You give them $40,000 a year pre-tax. They got to still pay, I think in some cases, for some housing. Maybe all housing is approved now. Good. Equipment, whatever. Food sometimes, whatever. It's way better than $3,000 a year. That's what I was making. I'd rather make $40,000 than $3,000. The numbers that you see are not real. They're the marketing scrubbed version. You're a professional athlete right now. How much is your contract? My contract with the New York Mets was $5,000. I was making $5,000 a year. Oh, my signing bonus is $5,000. I was making $3,000 a year. At the time, I had to pay for my own housing, food, and equipment. How much are you worth? I think people should listen because they're telling the truth. Chris Bosh recently told Front Office Sports, and it's really interesting how people don't want to listen to that. But if I told you that player X is signing a 3-year, $150 million deal, you'll believe. You'll believe it. It's not $150 million. That's what they're trying to get people to understand. Financial advisors who work with the athletes say that the public often overestimates how wealthy professional athletes actually are, especially given taxes, short careers, and in some cases, financial mismanagement. The general public assumption, which is that if you make it to the pros, you're set for life, is far from true. This is Paragon Wealth Management's head of sports and entertainment, Mark Specht. Plenty of athletes have seen their money disappear. Tim Duncan and Tony Kukoc have lost money because of financial advisors misbehaving and mishandling their money. Terrell Owens played 16 years in the NFL. He made nearly $80 million playing, more from his off-the-field sponsorships. Yet, by 2012, 2 years after he played his last NFL game, almost all of his earnings were gone. In part, because half of it went to taxes, agent fees, and other costs. He sued Drew Rosenhaus. He sued his agent. The case was dropped. Okay. Dropped 5 years later. He said he withdrew his suit because the alleged fraud was discovered after the legal deadline to file a claim. Rosenhaus declined to comment. You have to consider diversifying the value that you have currently into other things. That's why we're seeing all of this movement into athletes investing, athletes owning things, because they're diversifying the money they had from just being in a pool to actually working for them. Yes. Is it amazing that athletes are making $150 million deals? Of course. Of course. Bijan's going to make $51 million guaranteed before tax. What's it going to be after tax? Where's he filing those taxes? He's filing it in Georgia. Is he going to file it in Arizona? Okay, so do the math. Math the public's hard. Bear with me. Former professional athlete here. Majored in baseball in college. Government's going to take 20 million of that. 15 million of that. His agent's going to take a percentage of that. His 51 million guaranteed is now 20. Life-changing, future-changing, generational-changing money for anybody. Things are expensive. He's going to buy the things that he wants to buy with it. Hope he makes sponsorship money because he's Bijan, and I will absolutely invest in Bijan if I absolutely could. But that money in the next couple of years, hopefully you reinvest it. Hopefully he does the things that's necessary. $20 million for the rest of your life. I met a Major League Baseball player once, and I said, wow. Congratulations. You did the thing that you wanted to do. And he goes, I made this much in my career. He said 15 million. He goes, it's not enough. Depends on how you spend it. Depends on where you put it. Depends on all of the things, right? I said, what? What do you mean depends on where you put it? That's life-changing dough. He goes, I was 24. I wish athletes had better trust around them. Open Athletes helps athletes start businesses, help athletes transition out of sports to build a business or scale a business they've already started, thinking about building an idea, making something real. Amazing companies. Like we're going to have J.R. Butler on over the next couple of weeks. J.R. is helping athletes get jobs in tech sales. Scott Schebler, former MLB player, is helping athletes get jobs in tech. Amazing. Some of those guys aren't making $1 million a year in their MLB contract. It's guys like me who need to be able to find a way to leverage their small window of being in professional baseball into something after. I'm helping you start businesses. Apply at openathletes.org. Sing. I can't do it live. Ah. Go in the description, okay? But that's why we're seeing Marcus Colston. That's why we're seeing, obviously, Kevin Durant, LeBron, owning, why are their fingers in everything? To reinvest their money into things that, A, they care about, and B, so that their wealth is not tied up into one thing. That's why we're seeing all of this athletes as investors movement. because they have capital, and what are they going to do with it? How are they going to be smart with it? I would say people take advantage of them. Financial advisors took advantage of Tim Duncan, Tony Kukoc. We can think of countless others. If you're Bijan, put it away. Rob Gronkowski was spending what he made from his sponsorships. Sure, that's the story. How much did he make in his career? Maybe 80 million. I bet you he made more in appearances and advertising and sponsorships and whatever. Amazing. Athletes are worth that much money. If the value that the teams are worth is uncapped, if their revenue is uncapped or shared after blah, socialism, the players should be able to make as much as they need to. However, who is there? Who is in their corner? Who can they trust? They could trust Open Athletes. How can we help you start a business? We are thinking about how we can help athletes negotiate and navigate NIL. Someone should be in their corner so that those athletes who are 18 years old are not being taken advantage of by their friends, family, agents, advisors, whoever. And if somebody is in this to support them that is not making a profit off of them, what's the point? So that they don't get taken advantage of. I'm a curmudgeon. Old man, get off my lawn. Guys are making millions of dollars a year. Jeremy, why do you care? You didn't do it. Jeremy, why are you so hung up on the fact that athletes need to take advantage of their money? Because they need to take advantage of their money. They need to do the things that they need to protect their futures. And if that means diversifying into investments that they trust, yes. And make it be into a place that they trust. Hopefully, Athletes Fund, hopefully, we could be a place to invest some of that money in for some of these players. I want that. I absolutely want that. I want them to go, I trust Jeremy. I trust Open Athletes. I trust Athletes Fund, their investment arm that goes back into the businesses that athletes start, as well as other sports, technology, businesses, maybe franchises. If the Phoenix Rising were up for sale here in Phoenix, Athletes Fund might want to get in on that. Old man, get off my lawn. I got a show to do. I got time to fill. No, I'm really passionate about this stuff because I don't want to see athletes going broke. That documentary broke my fucking heart. Sorry if your kids are in the room. Do everything you can. When I was a professional athlete, I gave everything I could to be healthy and be on the field. My back gave out. I couldn't walk anymore. I was done. I couldn't get to that next level. I did not make $1 million in my career. I barely made $5,000 in my career. Guys who get to that level, and we're talking about this in the real terms, are not millionaires whining about the total amount of money that they're making. This is the real deal. And if you're an athlete watching, I hope you have people that you trust in your corner. And if not, I would love to help you find people who you can trust in your corner. And if you think that you don't have people you trust in your corner, if you're like, well, I think that guy's a little shady, get rid of him. Get rid of her, whatever. The success that you have on the field is in this very small window. It could be 2 years like me. Could be 5 years like my friends. It could be 15 years like Kawhi. It could be 22 years like LeBron. Be careful and take advantage of your opportunity in the window. Diversify and protect your money so that we don't have to hear, he got taken advantage of. She got taken advantage of. And if you need help, I will help you find the right people to do that with. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I want you to come on here and talk about the things that you've experienced. Chris Bosh. We are going to hear about this again. We are going to hear that an athlete, blah, 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 lost the money. Taken advantage of. Trust the people in your corner. Invest it, diversify it, reinvest it. And if you are an athlete who has lost it, I am so sorry. But you as a former professional athlete have value. Me as a former professional athlete, 2 years at the New York Mets, 3 years qualified for the Olympics, this much value. What value, if you play in the NFL for 10 years, do you have? NBC keeps the Preakness after a bidding war. NBC fights off Fox, Netflix, Amazon, and keeps the Preakness. The NBC, traditional legacy media, fights off Fox, traditional legacy media, Netflix, Amazon. It's not new to us that Netflix and Amazon want to get into live sports at all. But where are media rights heading that Netflix goes, man, I want the Preakness? Kentucky Derby, Crown Jewel, and all of horse racing, and all of using animals for sport. Kentucky Derby. But Amazon's going, man, I want the Preakness. Netflix, what's the value of the Preakness? Specific type of audience, advertising. For the amount that they spend on the Preakness, are they going to make more money on advertising or subscribers? The NBC had to fight to keep the Preakness. Per Sports Pros and Front Office Sports, NBC retained the Preakness over Fox Sports, Netflix, and Amazon. This May, the Preakness drew its biggest audience since 2021, 5.5 million viewers across NBC and Peacock, up 22%. NBC has held the Preakness rights since 2001. Its Derby deal runs through 2032. The Signal, a 19th century product, horse racing, probably before then, but making money from horse racing. The horse race is 2 minutes long, once a year. Had Netflix and Amazon in the room. Streamers are not cherry picking only the NFL, NBA, some MLB games. They hunt any live event with a loyal, can't time shift it audience because live is the last thing that people won't skip. Live sports is the last thing in all of television that is can't miss. I can watch the highlights later. Sure, fine, whatever. I can watch them on social media 2 seconds after it happens. Sure. Yes. Am I tuning into SportsCenter every single night to watch the highlights? Man, I want to curse so bad right now. No. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to watch a 2-minute Preakness. They're spending millions of dollars when I could just go on YouTube and watch a Preakness. I bet you. Well, let's do it. Let's do a little game. Let's do a game this year. Will the Preakness have more live viewers or more views from the NBC's highlight of the Preakness? I should write these down because I'm going to forget whenever the Preakness happens. 5.5 million viewers. Will the clip of the Preakness have more than 5.5 million viewers? What's the value of live sports anymore if I can literally watch the thing that happened 10 minutes later? I do not have an answer for you on that. I'm not going to the Preakness. I would like to go to the Kentucky Derby. I'm not going to the Kentucky Derby. That's the value. The value is the in-person experience that you get from wearing a big fancy hat and being at the Kentucky Derby. Yes, absolutely. What does the Preakness do for me? Nothing. Am I going to go on YouTube to watch it? Now I will. And I want to see if more than 5.5 million people are going to watch it. And is it worth it for Amazon, Netflix to have it? What does it tell us about sports? That live sports is the last bastion of must-watch appointment viewing television. And now it's not just CBS, Fox, NBC, CBS. Did I already say that? ABC, ESPN, going after live television. Now Netflix. It has been for a long time. Netflix, Amazon. What? Hulu has live TV. YouTube has the live TV. If they wanted to do that, they would do that through the live TV bundle. They're trying to spend millions of dollars on the content that someone's going to scroll past versus moments that people show up for. But am I a dedicated audience? We talked last week about ESPN exclusively showing the MEAC conference or the Professional Dance League. This is in that same boat. There's a couple million people out there that are going to tune in for this race for 2 minutes. They're going to tune in for an hour before. So they're going to make their money on the advertisement an hour before. The thing's going to happen. They're going to do a little wrap up, boop, 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 and they're going to put it on YouTube, and it's going to be done. And more people, in my view, are going to watch it on YouTube. And we'll see. We'll come back to it, and we'll see. This show, presented by Esther Health, your fiercest advocate when healthcare gets hard. I have friends and family going through IVF. IVF is one of the worst experiences you can have in all of healthcare. Not only do you have to negotiate with health insurance companies, but you have to negotiate with the doctors that are trying to help you conceive. Esther Health helps you do that. ESTHER, estherhealth.co. Work with an expert who actually gives a crap about you. Sorry. Healthcare is hard. Somebody should be in your corner to do that. If we could do that with you. All of these things, solving problems. What problems is it? IVF is really hard. It's really expensive and you have no idea what you're doing and I don't even know where to schedule your next appointment. Let us do it with you. Genius IQ, the AI layer, moves into every stadium. AI goes league-wide in every top-flight stadium. The technology story of today, the infrastructure of sports is being quietly rewired. Genius Sports just put its AI platform, Genius IQ, into every top division stadium of the Swiss Football League. Swiss Football League, it's not like the heart racer, but the model is the whole story. Per Genius Sports, per the company, for the 2026-2027 season, Genius IQ deploys in every top-tier Swiss Football League stadium. The pitch, a single intelligence layer for tracking data and commercial activation. The Premier League does it with Microsoft and Adobe, I believe, in some way. Plain English. Company isn't sponsoring a league. It's becoming the league's nervous system for how they activate and make money. Every camera and data feed runs through one private platform, which sells the data back to betting feeds, graphics, and activations. When one company owns a data layer, the sport doesn't fully control its own numbers. The source of truth sits with a vendor. Here's our lesson. Own your data, or someone rents it back to you. Your Genius IQ is your email list, your first-party audience, your warm leads, your warm connections, your community platform that you are building. If it all lives in someone else's platform, you're leasing your audience to them. And then the landlord, them, will charge you rent for that, or the algorithm, or the whatever, whenever they want to. The last time a platform change costs you your reach, you thought you owned. When did that happen for you? If social media goes away tomorrow, what's going to happen to your audience and your brand and whatever? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have ways to get in front of people outside of social media? Maybe not. We talked about diversifying earlier. Are you diversified in your audience as you're building your audience? Open Athletes is building its audience. What platforms are we on? All of them. And if one of them goes away, okay. But hopefully we can get someone from one platform to see us on another. What this tells me, the Swiss League goes, Are we inkling every single dollar we possibly can out of our fans and all of our sponsors? No. What more can we do? Spend money on Genius IQ to see how much money that we can and should make? Will they make money from this deal? How good of a platform is Genius IQ? The experience that I'm going to have at sporting events is going to be directly attributed to an algorithm that does not care about taste, experience, blah, blah, blah. It's going to try to ink every single dollar that it possibly can out of you, because that's what these platforms are for. We are just another piece in the machine. Not to be negative, but that's just how sports is. Someone spending X amount of dollars on sponsorship, spending X amount of dollars to put on an event, are they making as much as they possibly can out of that event? And if you can only make money from advertising and events, are you making the most that you possibly can? Maybe. Yes? Genius Sports strikes long-term tech and AI partnership with Swiss Football League. This is the first of many that we will see like this, because a platform like Genius Sports wants to partner with these leagues. Switzerland's elite football body is the latest to harness Genius IQ to unlock innovations and efficiencies across the league's ecosystem. Partnership gives Swiss Football League access to world's most advanced tracking and performance technology. The agreement executes upon Genius Sports' landmark Genius IQ innovation partnership with the European leagues. This agreement executes upon Genius Sports' position as the operating system of modern sport, as well as its innovation partnership with the European leagues, which represents 18 member leagues and 46 professional competitions across the continent. Genius IQ will be deployed in every first-tier stadium. Coaches and analysts can harness the sports performance component of it. However, the leagues will also be able to advertise, to find money from the advertising activations. Yes, Genius Sports IQ is potentially good for the league. Are they every single dollar out of having Genius IQ? Yes, they probably will figure that out using a platform like this. Totally. But they will also be able to help them make better sporting decisions. Is that good? Is that putting a better product on the field? Is that worth the money that they're spending on Genius Sports? This is a press release from Genius Sports. We're not going to see the total amount of money that was spent on this. But Genius Sports is a platform that is partnering with the Swiss League, with the Pac-12. Pac-12, how many teams are in the Pac-12 now? Was it 2? Is it more? La Liga. So sporting decisions, yes. Sponsorship activation. Also, yes. Today's take. Always ask what the real number is. Sports is business. You are a business. You're a consultant. You're a sporting consultant. You're a contractor. The building lesson for today, the thing to do this week, you're in the same position as every other athlete. You generate value on the field, for the team, off the field. The forces are designed to make sure you understand the least about it. As we saw today, with Bijan up to $75 million, I think he's worth more. Maybe he wanted a shorter deal to get a larger deal in the next couple of years. That happens. Maybe it's because, yes, he's the most valuable running back of all time, but he's worth more than $20 million a year to that team, to that offense. If Zay Flowers is making $30 million a year, something's up, man. And we saw it. I mean, we saw it with Le'Veon Bell. I don't know how many years ago now. He held out for more because he's worth it to that offense. And if his offensive guard is making more than him, Bijan's putting up numbers, generational numbers for a running back. But running back careers are short. Anything can happen tomorrow. Bijan said, give me $51 million guaranteed, and he held out for it. Yes, but he should be worth more. You, as an athlete, are worth more. Someone else signed a contract for you if you're a minor league baseball player so that you make $40,000 a year. I put in the work, me and others and amazing other people put in the work to get you to $40,000 a year, but that contract that you're signing, you didn't agree to it. That's the contract that you have to sign if you want to play professional baseball. What leverage do you have? Take your time in professional baseball and see how you can diversify your time and your investment elsewhere. If you want to. The things I'm talking about are if you want to. If you don't want to, and I didn't want to for the longest time, and then I thought, well, I kind of want to now. It's kind of a little late for that. How can you get in the room? How could you be part of the cap table? We talked about that last week. What is your habit of asking for your real number? How much are you worth to do a thing? I once asked a professional baseball player, a major leaguer, we'd love to have you participate in this event. Okay, my hourly rate is this. I said, we're a nonprofit. We don't have the money. My hourly rate is this. I wasn't offended. He's the business. We were trying to get that major leaguer to participate in our thing. We're trying to get that brand to participate in our thing. At the time, I was like, but you should do it because you like me. And we're helping professional baseball players, just like you were. His time is valuable. Your time is valuable. How are you going to maximize that? What is the tagline of this show? Well, where athletes build is the tagline of the show. Build your audience, build your brand. If that's how you want to diversify your time or leverage the fact that you're a professional athlete. But what are you going to do with 10,000 Instagram followers? How could you turn 10,000 and 1 million impressions in a month to make money from it? Much of what we talk about is like the traditional, the influencer thing. Fine. If that's how you want to categorize it. Sure. Fine. Whatever. We're influencers. But take a step further. Athletes have leverage. Bijan had leverage. Athletes have value. Bijan's worth this much on I was going to say open market, but it's not an open market. Running backs are hampered by lower wages than wide receivers. Bijan's going to be 30% in the slot. 30% of the time, he's going to be in exactly Wes Welker, Julian Edelman's position. Huh? Diversify your time as a professional athlete. If you want to start a business, if you want to start a marketing business, if you want to start a branding business, if you want to start a product, you as a current NFL player, NHL player, WNBA player, MLS player, MLS League 2 player, USL player, that's intriguing for a multitude of ways. It's intriguing to fans who say, man, that's a really great product and that guy plays for that team. Put in the time to do that. We'll help you. Number 2, if you are fortunate enough to be in a position to make money from NIL and you're making $500,000 a year just by playing for Penn State, F yes. I don't want to get in trouble for cursing on the YouTubes and everything. F yes. The athletes who win the next decade won't have the biggest headline deal, but how can you continually accumulate an audience, a network, connections, and who you are in sport? I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of current and former professional athletes, and some of them wow me. Some of them don't. We all know that some of them don't. Some of them are just guys who are really good at sports, who might not have the business acumen or whatever, or might not be able to have that in-depth conversation to really captivate you. I can't say I've had a negative experience with a professional athlete because I know how to have that conversation. I'm not wowed or wooed by anybody. If Mark Cuban were here, I'd shoot the shit with Mark Cuban. Sure. Tell Mark about the show. Get Mark on the show. The ones that impress me the most are the ones that understand their value the most. What are they diversifying their time and their money into and leveraging the fact that they are outside of the algorithm, like we've discussed many, many times? How can you get outside of the algorithm? Well, when you're a professional athlete, you're on ESPN, you're on CBS, you're on Peacock, you're on whatever. You're outside of the algorithm. How can you do things to garner an audience outside the algorithm? How can you do things that are live? Well, if you're a professional athlete, you can do things that are live because you're playing a sport live. But as you are building your audience, building your platform, what are you going to do to diversify yourself from others who are just as empowered and have the same exact tools that you do? How is your personality going to be different? And I would say the Marcus Colstons are doing amazing work in that, investing in things that they are passionate about, where they can spend their time outside of sports, working with founders or helping start companies or helping current and former athletes start and scale businesses. Mind Ready was a business that I started because I was a former professional athlete where I was like, athletes need better mental health. And I got in the room because I said, I'm a former athlete who struggled with their mental health, and your athletes could use the same type of coaching that I wish I had. Solve a problem with the things that you are most familiar with. I am not an engineer. I cannot build you the most sophisticated platform, but I have studied and used the tools that can help you get there as best as I could, and I'm 80% of the way there. Because I'm passionate about those things. I'm passionate about the thing that Open Athletes is doing. I'm passionate about the thing that archive.jeremywolf.co. We help athletes from out of the country market and brand themselves in the United States. I'm passionate about solving those problems. It brings me joy to be able to use time, energy, skill, technique, technology to do those things. How? How are you going to do that? Are you going to start a podcast? Start a podcast. Are you going to talk to Instagram every single day, straight to camera, and tell a story about something? You're going to find an audience for that. I promise you. Are you going to start a business with something you're passionate about? You're passionate about gardening, and you're like, man, I wish I could just garden after I'm done playing. Find a way to do that. A, I'll help you. But B, what are you passionate about? And what are you going to diversify your time in while you're playing? Diversify your investment in while you're done. And if you made $1 million in your career, is it $1 million? Or is it $500,000 after taxes, fees, agent fees, expenditures, whatever? Because you're going to be done at 30. Guys are playing longer now because they can stay healthy longer now. You can be done at 32. People will go, wow, he's a veteran. He's 32. Do I feel like a veteran? I'm 32. Do I feel like a veteran? No. You're going to have another 60 years and you think you're going to live off of the $2 million you made? $20 million in reinvested and live off the reinvest and do other things. But a majority of athletes are not going to make $1 million. And the athletes that make 1 to 20, that's going to be gone. Leverage your time. Leverage your energy. Leverage your value. We talked about the WNBA. We talked about the bananas. People are making money. People are making money off of you and off of teams and off of sports. How will you benefit yourself, your family, your future, and find opportunities to diversify yourself now and in the future? The name of the game. That's what Open Athletes is for. We're going to talk about these things, and we can help you do those things. Apply now to be part of our cohort. Or if you want to be on the show, show.openathletes.org. Support the show. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. I love doing this. So happy we're doing this. Happy Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.